So fascism is America's destiny, but it's always been our destiny that's tied to it to stop it. People forget or simply don't know, back in the 1930s, Madison Square Garden was being filled up to capacity with American fascists supporting the Third Reich back in the 1930s. There are documents, there are pictures, there are videos. You can research this yourself. And this threat has been with us since the early 1900s. And it's always been up to us to stop it. Whether it was implementing the New Deal, whether it's getting rid of as many Jim Crow laws from segregation as possible, being there for the working class. Progressivism has always been the antidote within the capitalist system to ward off fascists and their threat to democracy. And we see clear as day that same set of circumstances playing out right now again, with Donald Trump running for president and the election being less than 20 days away. And there's no clear winner. There's no clear winner. All the polls are all in the margin of error. There is no reason to believe Trump isn't going to win. There's no reason. You can't point me to any data at this point out, 20 days before the election, that says Trump is definitively going to lose. You cannot do that. That information, that data doesn't exist. Okay? So, once again, our destiny is to become a fascist country. It's what happens when you have two major right-wing parties and no other viable parties to vote for. With right-wing politics and right-wing economics, you're going to get fascism at some point, you're going to get oligarchy at some point, and you're also going to get monopoly at some point. So those things, once again, it's up to us to show up and fix those destinies. Okay, the fascism, the oligarchy, the monopoly, right? We do that with progressive legislation. We do that with progressive economics. We do that with everything that we can do to mobilize the working class, to be there for their material needs. And we have to do that yet again. This has just been a cyclical thing in this country for dozens and dozens of years. And I don't know if we can do it. I have no confidence going into this election. Of course, I'm going to vote Harrison Walls, but I have no confidence they're going to win at all. We know the Republicans are using voter suppression right now. We know they're trying to slow down the mail. They're going to take literally every single avenue they can to stymie the vote, to slow the vote down, to set up circumstances where there's going to be another denial of an obvious election result. Remember, back in 2016, even when Trump won, he denied that he lost by 2.8 million votes. In 2020, we all know that what happened there. We all know he denied it, and we all saw the insurrection. We all saw that with our own eyes. They're going to do that again. That's going to happen no matter what. He's going to try to send it to the Supreme Court and have his 6-3 Christo-fascist supermajority on the Supreme Court do his bidding and make this country what it's destined to become, which is a fascist country. It is our destiny. But once again, it's also our destiny to stop that. It's just the way it is. These two go together. It's a horrible situation. There are some bright spots, though. 41 million Gen Z are eligible to vote in this election. 40 million! That's since 2020. That's a huge crop of new potential voters who are eligible to vote that, have piqued my interest. Like, okay, well, how are they going to vote? That's 41 million people are eligible, new voters. That's interesting to me. Obviously, women are going to be showing up like never before because after Roe v. Wade, women, especially black women voter registration right now is off the charts, record levels. Women in general, it's going to be a huge turnout. I mean, there are some bright spots to be optimistic, but there's literally no data right now that's saying we're going to win, right? There's no data available. This is really going to come down to turnout, overperforming the polls, having people who haven't voted in a long time show up, new voters showing up, marginalized groups showing up. I just don't want to hear any bickering coming from the left. This is such a low bar for us to trip over. We can do our work outside the establishment, but we at least have to ward off Christo-fascism coming from the Trump far right. This is obvious because one of two things is going to happen in November. One of two things. Trump is going to win or Trump is going to lose. Okay? You're not getting around that. I'm not getting around that. That's a reality. Your ideology doesn't care about that. My ideology doesn't care about that. That's going to happen or that's not going to happen. And we have to deal with that, right? So I'm dealing with that. I'm being very practical in voting against the Christo-fascist threat and Donald Trump. It's a no-brainer. So you cannot make a viable argument right now to vote against Donald Trump in a rigged two-party system. If we had a democracy where 18 viable parties, where any one of those 18 could win, then you would have a viable argument. Right now, your argument is trash because one or the other is going to win, like all the time, because we don't live in a real democracy, dummy. Okay? So be practical, be less ideological, even I know your heart's not in it, or where the Democrats are, of course they're not. They're too far right-wing. It's sickening. But understand what's going to happen in November. Trump's going to win or he's going to lose. It's just, it doesn't matter what you think or what I think. So, rant done. Hope you're having a lovely day. Hope you're getting out and seeing some foliage, going for a walk. Right now, I'm going to enjoy myself. I will talk to you in the comments.